What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we will be talking about something that I have talked about plenty of times in the past. This is something that I think is very important. I know a lot of you guys out there are going to disagree with me on this, and that's okay. But honestly, I think that if you look back and how you can look through social media, just for a quick example, you can look through social media and you can see that women are usually not satisfied whenever they come to get to a certain age and they start to look back and all they have is their good job and their house and their pets, their dogs, their cats, whatever. And they seem so unfulfilled. And I think it's very important to put a spotlight on this because I've talked about this in the past about how women will get to a certain age and they realize they want to start a family, they want to be a homemaker, they want to be a mom, they want to do all these things in their life, but they can't because they have hit a certain age where they're unable to do that. A lot of times it is biological. They can't do it without science intervening somehow. And sometimes it is just societal. These men are not attracted to these women anymore. They're not giving them the time anymore. These women kind of, a lot of men say they hit the wall. These men aren't interested and they're not able to secure any sort of relationship to, one, even get pregnant or anything, and two, get a ring, because a lot of men are not marrying women that are well into their 30s and sometimes in their 40s.
If you're going to have children, do it young. Do it in your 20s. Do it when you're 18. Because I can tell you now that the worst thing about having children in your mid to late 30s is when you've spent 20 minutes trying to get your baby to sleep and then they're asleep in their cot, and as you go to leave the room, the clicking of your joints wakes them up. My baby just woke up because my knee clicked. I click. Do it when you're young, guys. Shoot them out. When you're in your 30s, you can get your life back as your joints fail you.
Surely this is all for me. I'm so fucking important.
Hey, you wanted this, right? You wanted the real deal? That's what this is. Wake up, you're in the middle of it. You want to run, go ahead. No one's stopping you. Stop complaining.
Now, there is a lot of women that do this where they get into their early 40s, which technically, if you're in your 40s and you're trying to get pregnant, it isn't a normal pregnancy. They're going to have to go do certain things to help you along the way. A lot of times a woman just cannot get pregnant when she's in her 40s just by normal activities. Science has to intervene. And this is the reality for a lot of these women. They're old and they're having these kids. She's well into her 40s. She's having a newborn. She's trying to get this newborn to bed. And there's a lot of bending. There's a lot of walking. There's a lot of rocking. There's a lot of stuff that comes with being a mom. And when these women decide that, hey, you know what? I want to be a mom. I'm ready. Their body is telling a different story. And it's causing a lot of issues in these women's lives. This woman will be close to her 60s whenever this baby is ready to leave the nest. And that is a harsh reality for a lot of women. This happens a lot, actually. It's happening a lot right now. This used to not be a thing. Women used to not give birth in their 40s. It just never happened. It was weird. And now it's like a normal, almost kind of normalized thing, especially if you look on social media. So many women talk about it. You would think that it happens more often than not, but there's a lot of science and a lot of money that goes into women this age giving birth, and it's rough out there. I would actually side with this woman. I would actually agree with her. When you are in your 20s and you're starting a family, especially for a guy, a lot of men want this. A lot of men want to have a homemaker, a wife, and then they want a family and they want to have kids. And this is something that traditional men want. And so that guy's on the lookout for a traditional woman. That's kind of how these things work. And a lot of women out there are not traditional right now. So she's having to probably settle for that late stage simp that she found to help her along the way. Sometimes these women do these one night stands and then they reach into the trash can and steal it out and go home and do it themselves. Sometimes these women pay at a clinic to get them to do the baby goo. And this is the reality for them. Tough road out there.
This is a question for other women who currently do not have kids and do not want to have kids. I'm 31 years old right now. My husband and I currently are child-free by choice. We don't want to have kids currently, and I don't know if we'll ever want to have kids. But people often ask me, oh, why don't you want to have kids? Or why don't you want to be a parent? And I'm just curious for the women who want to be a mother or who want to have kids. Do people ask you, oh, why do you want to have kids? Or, oh, why do you want to be a mother? I'm actually just genuinely curious. No one asks you that, right? It's just like the default assumption. And what is a good answer to that question?
That's a great question. I've been wondering that myself.
The reason you get asked that question is because a lot of times, well, first let's start off with being a mom and having a kid is the only thing that women can 100% do that men can't do. There is this video right here is probably, I'm not going to say it's a red flag, but it's definitely something you need to watch out for when a woman is in a relationship with a man and she's saying that she doesn't want kids right now. So does he not want kids right now, or are both of you just on the fence and you could change your mind at any point? Because this situation right here, when one person wants a kid and the other person doesn't, that isn't something you can negotiate. You understand that, right? That's not something you can be like, oh, hey, look, I'm 36 now, I'm ready to have a kid. And he's like, oh, I never wanted to have kids. What are you talking about? Why are you talking about kids? We're not having kids. We're in our 30s. It's too late now. And she's like, well, I want to have them and I'm going to have my way, my body, my choice, right? That's the end of the relationship right there. These types of situations are always going to leave with no sense of compromise. There's no compromise when it comes to one person wanting a kid and one person not wanting a kid. That's not how this works. I would say stay away from women like this 100%. If she is in her 30s and she is still on the fence about having kids, then she has no direction in her life. She could change her mind at any moment for anything and you'll be caught in the crosshairs. Just stay clear.
Man, I'm not having kids.
Oh, for real?
I'm just not about that life.
Honestly, man, I don't blame you. People are having kids in this economy.
Exactly. It's such a huge responsibility.
For sure, dude.
I just want to focus on my career.
Good on you for that.
And just bettering my own life.
Right on, man.
I actually don't want children.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Well, you're still so young. You'll change your mind.
No, I've thought about it a lot and I definitely don't want kids.
How could you not want to be a mother?
Well,
you don't know love until you have a child.
I'm just really focused on building my own path right now and figuring out my career goals.
Don't you think that's selfish to have your whole life centered around just you?
It's more than that. Kids are very expensive. They're a massive responsibility. Being a parent is the hardest job in the world.
Becoming a mother was the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine not being a mother.
And that's totally valid for you, but that's just not the life that I want.
You're going to live a cold, lonely, meaningless life if you don't have children.
If you mean a life of peace where I can sleep through the night and only have to worry about feeding and buying things for myself, then yes, that's the life that I want.
I'll remember this conversation when you have your first child.
Are you listening to a word I'm saying?
You know, and all we can do is pray for her. But still, this is real shit.
Wanted to point this clip out because this is a very interesting take. How whenever a man says that he doesn't want to have kids and the reaction, and then a woman says she doesn't want to have kids and the reaction. But here's the difference between men and women. A man's value, according to women, lies in assets and his finances and his ability to be a provider and a protector. That is where the value lies, according to women, for men. And according to men, a woman's value lies in her youth and fertility. So I'm not saying she's going to change her mind about having kids because, look, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really doesn't matter. The point is that whenever it comes time and she may want to change her mind, it's not going to be a choice for her anymore. Not going to be a choice. The men that were probably in her life that could do that for her are long gone. And then you have the men that she is currently seeing or she's currently with, and they are the furthest thing from father material. These are the guys she's meeting up on dating apps that they'd probably be the dad that goes out for milk and never comes back. Very interesting take though. And whenever I do videos like this, I do like to show both sides. I'm not saying that every woman is fit to be a mom. Absolutely not. I would never say that. Every woman is not fit to be a mother. That is 100% true. The only issue I have with it now is on social media, because let's just go back 20 years. You go back 20 years, there were plenty of women that were not having kids, that were focusing on their careers, that were doing all this other stuff that wasn't traditional. However, they didn't have a platform to post their videos on to potentially poison the minds of women that could be good mothers, that want to be mothers, but they are being persuaded. And we know women give in to peer pressure very easily. That's the entire makeup and feminine retail space is nothing but peer pressure. Every single magazine, every single ad that a woman looks at, it's peer pressuring her. So social media, when it comes to kids, when it comes to anything, is no different. They really do give in to peer pressure. And so they're listening to these women tell them, hey, look, don't have kids. And when it comes time and you do want kids, you can have them. All you have to do is just go to a doctor, this and that. Everything will work out and you'll be perfectly happy. But by the time it reaches that point, it won't be their choice anymore. They will be involuntarily childless. A lot of them regret it.
I'm 53 years old and I don't have kids. This comes with every type of response you could imagine. But who's going to take care of you when you get old? That's what we're put on this earth for. You're so selfish. You don't know true joy until you have a child. What do you do with all your free time? Do you regret it now that you're older? The simple people say things time. Do you regret it now that you're older? The simple answer is no. I understand people say things with the best of intention and perhaps based off what works for their lives. But many women have chosen not to have children or can't have them. All of us have a different path. I love children, and I think I would have been an amazing mom, but I have no regrets at all. I have an incredible nephew, I mentor younger women, I have a big loving family, and a fulfilled life. My worth in this world is more than just any one title, and yours is too.
You tell the world what happened to you. What happened to you? I don't know. You need to tell them.
Now, these videos are kind of my favorite because, and you can help me out, guys. Let me know what you think. Is this video trying to convince everyone else, or is this video trying to convince the person making it? So she can look back, look at the likes, look at the comments and say, you know what? I'm validated in that response. I think a lot of times women go through these episodes where they 100% don't want kids, and a lot of times, as we've talked about plenty of times on numerous videos, women change their mind at any moment. They can say, you know what, I don't want this, I want that, and you're not going to be able to give that to me, so I'm going to go somewhere else. And then they get to where they're at and they're saying, you know what, I don't want that either, I'm going to go get something else because it's what I deserve. We absolutely do not deserve anything in this life. Women are given an opportunity to become moms, to become grandmothers, to build a family, and to live within the means of honesty and integrity and structure, and they choose not to. And that's perfectly fine for some women, but a large majority of women are seeing content like the content we just saw in this video. They are getting talked out of having kids in their 20s so they can go and have fun and go and hang out with Chad and nighttime visits with Tyrone and everyone else. All the while, they're not realizing that whenever they hit 35, whenever they hit 40, that they're going to feel like something's missing. And they are going to have that strong desire to have kids and to start a family, and nobody's going to be around to help them. And then they go on social media and they cry about it. And then you get videos like this.